Definitely see this one's cleaner than the pinup one. And when it sees the friction, it's a little blendier off of it.
Storm's new Road Warrior is a surprise that I somewhat saw coming, but that still exceeded my optimism, and Zach drilled 2 of them, so you'll get to see a layout comparison as well. To shorten up the monologue, I'm a longtime Pro Shop guy, and I've uploaded nearly 2,000 videos with the goal of helping you know what you're buying so that you can waste less money and enjoy bowling more. We are, of course, at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas, on the Kegel Chromium Challenge pattern, 42 feet, 25.5 mils. The graph is linked in the description if you want more details. We'll look first at the pinup ball, and I'm going to start with the same things I said in the preview video. I do still have a little lingering tendonitis in my elbow, so I don't want to pat myself on the back too hard, but my expectations were confirmed, and like I said in the opener, even exceeded. Extra credit to the team in Utah for this one. Not only do I think it replaces the Hyroad Pearl well, this might be one of the best light to medium volume, medium to heavy transition balls on the market. Same core as the Road we got a few months ago, the inverted FE2 core from the Hyroad series, but upgraded with AI, which drops the RG a bit to 255, while the differential stays almost the same at 045. The Road was kind of an odd release because while you know an AI version of all kinds of things are coming, and Hyroad line balls normally create big buzz, this one didn't. It didn't seem to interest anyone and seems to have been forgotten fairly quickly. I'm not sure why. REX has been a pretty popular cover for them so far. It looks pretty sharp. First Hyroad with AI, but it didn't really click for people. The Road Warrior seems to step in to fill the void from the Hyroad Pearl getting discontinued. It very quietly hung around for almost a decade. And the cover on this one is R2S Deep Pearl with the new Power Edge finish also, so it's the Pearl version of the cover that was on the Absolute and Absolute Power. Very similar to regular R2S, just a little cleaner, more responsive. Now at this point in the preview, to paraphrase the rest of my ramblings, I said that I thought this one would be in good shape and that it would be pretty strong and dynamic for what it's supposed to be on paper. It's still a cleaner and sharper, more medium strength ball, but you can see that there's no struggling or laziness. It doesn't look like it's laboring, it's just clean. It wants more friction than what we have on this testing pattern. Now, even so, it still looks really good. It's definitely longer and more responsive, but a small adjustment from Zach getting a little softer gives the ball enough time to make its move, and it does so with strength and authority. Some balls that aren't strong enough for a certain pattern or that are out of their element just kind of skid and spin and die, or they flutter and wiggle and ultimately give up. There's no giving up or quitting in the Road Warrior though. Sometimes it reacts a little too late or goes a little too long, but it always does something. It's still a stable reaction. This is what it looks like when a ball can still somewhat see the lane through the oil. It's still rolling, trying to rev up, and then is just waiting on the amount of friction it needs to pick up and move. When balls are hydroplaning or when they're not seeing the lane at all, they just glide and struggle, but there's no struggling with the Road Warrior. Even as we start looking at the pinned down ball, it's still seeing the lane just fine and getting work done. It's just a little longer and quite a bit rounder and smoother on the back end. Zach will have some comments in the live comm section at the end of the review talking about the differences between the two, so I won't drag this out and double up on it. But this is really impressive for a weaker ball to handle the oil this well without being allergic to it, but also without being significantly stronger than it's supposed to be, like the Exponent Pearl, for example. As we continue to watch the pin down balls, sponsors help me do all kinds of things, including continuing to put videos out there. There's a link to Bowler's Mart in the description where you can order one of these or anything else bowling related. Rosedoll10 is my discount code for your CoolWick orders and also for 3D printed ball cups and spinners from Scarred Prints. Plus there's a discount link for 10% off a Nexus backpack, their new journal, or other products. And finally an email address for custom handcrafted items like pins, bottle openers, and stoppers, even bowls made out of old bowling balls. Please hit the description before you get out of here. Also take a look at my memberships where for just $5 a month you can get all my videos early and ad-free. Comparing it to the Road, this is something I mentioned in the preview as well that is accurate and fits better down here. Oddly enough, some of the newer balls that are supposed to have stronger covers just want to skid for days. The Road, as you can see, is very clean and seems weaker than the Warrior, even though it should be quite a bit stronger. The Ion Pro, the Phase AI, etc. just take an odd amount of friction to make them pick up, but the Exponent Pearl, the new Tropical Surges, Hustles, both Absolutes, and both Attention Stars with supposedly significantly weaker covers than REX or TX16 are all monsters. Again, back end doesn't equal strength, so the warrior being sharper than the road doesn't mean it's stronger than the road, but the road is still oddly tame across the board. REX is Storm's 5th strongest cover according to the chart, and way down near the bottom, ranked only above Reactor and Urethane, we have R2S Deep. The math ain't mathing. The road is still cleaner and weaker, but then also is fairly smooth as well. Stronger balls are generally smoother and more controllable, but they also clearly get traction earlier, but the road doesn't. It's easy to see why something like the Harsh Reality is stronger than an Absolute Power, despite the Power being sharper and covering boards easier. The Harsh very obviously gets more traction, stabilizes, and then walks in, while the Power glides much more easily and then punches harder. The Road and the Warrior both look very similar up front, but the Warrior picks up and goes, and the Road just kind of takes its time. The Storm Road Warrior is available now, along with 900 Global's Origin and Rotogrip's Attention Star S2. Tobias didn't get the Warrior, but I already have videos up for him with both the Origin and S2. Once again, tons of great stuff in the description, so check that out before you get out of here. Also, I have several minutes worth of live commentary or on-lane thoughts that are following, so stick around for that as well. This video was brought to you by Panda Bear Productions. We put the in bowling. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.
Alrighty, Road Warrior. Every ball looks the same from that spot for me. They start at different distances, but they all 3, 6, 10 from there. She's clean. That's good though. Alright, so I softened up a little bit there, so we'll go a little left. Chase it a little more to the left. Whoops. There we go. There we go. Clean, and it's coming off of it. I thought so. A few shots ago where I was striking, I went left, then threw a bad one, that I think it 10 pin, but it hit the left side of the head pin. But then the next one after that was really good. But when I went left, I softened up because I figured I needed to, and it hooked. So then that last one I sped back up a little bit. It was a little late, but shaped really, really good. Definitely see this one's cleaner than the pinup one, and when it sees the friction, it's a little blendier off of it. Soften up here. That's where you can see it needs probably a little bit more friction to pick up. Throw it even a little slower and see what happens. Yeah, that one definitely gets through it cleaner and is a lot like a more gradual transition off the friction, which makes sense. That's why sometimes, like when I throw these cleaner balls at the end of the day, when there's that like so much friction built up, the pin down stuff actually looks a little bit better because it doesn't see it so hard. Obviously right now there's not quite enough friction, but that's why I drilled one down for in case I needed that. We can end on that one. That one was pretty good. Softened up enough, let it pick up and go.